Good morning, everybody, and welcome to a Monday morning stream. Don't worry, the 7 o'clock is still going to happen. But since I was just sitting down here, why not just stream? You just gotta stream. We gotta stream. We gotta stream a lot. We're trying to get there. Like it says, I do other things. I build everything. And I make jewelry. So that is what we are going to be doing today. Today. I expect people to be at work. I don't really expect anybody to be watching me. These are cufflinks. I pulled out what I'm going through right now. Is some of my old jewelry making stuff, because I haven't done this in a long time. And what I mean I haven't done this in a long time, like this is known as a simple weave of metal rings. And this is a basic weave, supposedly. And let's see. And that basic weave is called a barrel weave. And that's a barrel weave. And you can make rings. This is a start of a bracelet. This is very lightweight. And this is lightweight gauge. This is a little heavier gauge. This is like that. And yeah, so I used to do this all the time. I had to stop because of health problems. The health problems that I faced was I had tinnitus and stuff. So, but I figured, why not? Why not I'm bringing variety to the channel. Why don't we, while I'm sitting here going through this stuff, why don't we stream and talk about it? And I can work on necklaces, and then start weaving a little bit. Problem with this is I don't know where all my tools are. We're talking, the last time I weaved was like 20 years ago. So you need pliers, and they generally have to be flat nosed. I had two of these. I don't know where the other one disappeared to. Over the years, things get moved, things get used, some things don't get put back where they were. So I found a flat nose pair that were rusty out in my shop that I'm just gonna have to make do with. You really want spring loaded. Like these are got that little spring assist thing. But we can still weave with these, even though I really wish I knew where my other pair of these were. You can see I was working on a bunch of different variety of these. Like this is a little bit more fancy, a little kind of like bob wire stuff. And then I have, of course, different compasses that I was gonna be making. Um, then I have these cufflinks that I was gonna do something with in this. I have like legit a lot of rings. I had more. I don't know where they are. They disappeared with this. I mean, 20 years is a long time. So right now I'm laying out these. I have all sorts of little gear things that I may incorporate into something, which I think was my idea, was to do that. And yes, I'm wearing like 3 different necklaces. So I have my smithing hammer, the hammer of Thor, the creative symbol, because I craft. And then I have my Mandalorian. And then I have just a simple around the neck rope type. Yeah, see, I was making a multicolored one. I was messing around with this stuff for a while. For a little while. But we are literally, you take 2 pliers and you actually twist those. These rings, and then you can apply them to. You gotta close them, obviously. To whatever your project is. Much easier if I had my regular pliers, but we literally don't. And like that, it's closed. And then I have, my supplies are getting really low on everything. Surprise, I lose everything. Then we put these on like a rawhide necklace. And I close these. And then I hang them up with the others. I've already done a bunch before I decided, well, maybe I should stream. So, voila. Then I hang them up here. Above my head on this little, it's actually an arm from a lamp. I hang my necklaces up there. It's these weaves here. I don't know how good. I'm really gonna have to buy another pair of pliers if I don't find mine. But My pliers are actually probably in the container that actually had some finished pieces I did a while back, like 20 years ago, and it's missing. So I'm kind of a little upset about that. Not that I can't make more. Obviously, I'm going to make more. That's why I pulled this stuff out, because I have the materials and I have the time, and my problems in my this still flares up, this tendonitis right in my elbows, and it still affects this. But I've been doing a lot of natural herbal remedies for inflammation and stuff. So want to make sure that I do this good. We're gonna use a lighter gauge, and I'm just gonna put this in here. The lighter gauge I can move with my fingers, because you know today's a rainy day too, so it's a good day for this. I can't really do too much. Um, as far as like it's damp and stuff, I literally ran out to my shop and was looking for my other bin of rings and my finished products to show you, but I couldn't find them. I looked everywhere. They're gonna show up when I least expect it, because that's generally how it works, right? Like when you're looking for something, you never find it, and then all of a sudden it pops out of nowhere and be like, I was looking for that 20 years ago. Why is that now here? Jeez, right? But we make jewelry here too, like we do. And this is product making, man. Like if they don't sell, it is fine, because I have many events coming and I need inventory. But and this is just, you know, a simple one. Like I'm actually going to be making these with out of metal, sand casting, and then I'm going to be putting, at least in my personal one, emeralds in the eyes. Actual emeralds, like real stuff, real gemstones. But I didn't want to do that with these cheaper versions. So going to be having some of those cast up. I don't do sand casting. By the time I get all the equipment, I wouldn't be able to get any product out. But a buddy of mine does, and he's helping me out. So you gotta get what you can when you can. I do not have another. Oh, that's not good. I'm gonna have to make one. I don't have any more rawhide, but I don't think. You got this purpley. I'm gonna have to make the ends. Do I have a lighter down here so I can melt the wax so it doesn't unwield? Probably not. Of course not. I don't have anything down here. We're gonna be doing some compass medallions. I don't have many of those. literally the idea behind that. Like when I tell people I collect random stuff, I really do. Was to make some really cool stuff. You know, really cool stuff with. But we're not doing those right now. What I need to figure out is this, and so I need to. Don't really want to use this purpley one. Do I have any rawhide left? Anywhere. 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 This is gonna be a shorty then. I'm gonna have to extend it. This just literally would be like a choker. I guess unless you're a kid, but that's pretty. Yeah, I guess I'd rather use this than this. I'm just gonna have to do a little bit of work. A little bit of work. Guys, I'm sorry, I didn't even know this box was in your way. No one says anything in the chat. How am I supposed to know? Been streaming for 18 minutes and that box has been in the way. I got 3 different monitors I try to monitor at the same time as trying to do this. Like it's not always easy for me to keep track of. I didn't even realize I was in the way. I am so sorry. So we're gonna put a clasp. Is that clasp? I don't have many of these neither. Then I'm gonna have to get like a small ring. Let's use some of these. They're kind of fancy. Right? I'm not a big fan of those too much. I have a bunch of them made up. So your basis for that barrel weave is the 5 rings, which is right there. And I'll get to how you do that. I have different clasps, but I don't have a lot of them. I really needed to find all my stuff. People are popping in and out, but they're not staying. I don't know. Don't know about those peoples. Don't you know? We're gonna be making amulets of these too when I get some more stuff. So more stuff, more stuff. Yes, always more stuff. What I am looking for. Those are too small. Is probably staring me right in the freaking eyes, and I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. I don't see it. No siree. No siree. So we'll figure this out. I think. I don't know. I think. Maybe one of these. Because then I can legit put one of these like right on the ends. Alright, so we're going to use one of the. This stuff's really small. One of these. We gotta put a dab of glue in. A little dab will do you. Or a dab on this. And then we're gonna go into here. And then we're gonna close this up around it. And that'll give us the end. To end this. Which will give me 7 of these in total right now. Until I cast more of these. Which is what I wear here. And these are a Mandalorian symbol. And this one's going to be more of a choker type because this is literally slow. I could extend it a little bit with some chain. Like I said, I actually did weave mail. There's a barrel. And I'm going to start doing that again. Because I have plenty of rings right now to practice. And then anything I make, I sell. So once I start getting money coming back in, we'll be doing good. Let me find some glue. Do glue. And we're not using hot glue. We're going to use a really good glue. Look at my eye. Hey guys, is my eye alright? Does it look alright? This is a dragon eye. I make these. So I literally make lots of things. Or I know how to make lots of things. So we're going to be making eyeballs this size because this one is for my dragon box, for my dragon egg box. But we're gonna be doing that. We're gonna be making these. Yep. So I did this one 15 years ago, but I used to I make small ones and I make big ones, and I have to fix my lathe, but like literally I used to make these all the time. Like so we're gonna start making dragon eyes and people eyes and doll eyes and all sorts of things like that that people can you know have funny little eyeball necklaces if they want, stuff like that, like just things. We got some glue here. We don't have, I gotta find, I do have it somewhere. Got to get a stick. We'll use one of these. I don't want to open that. We'll use a popsicle stick. I use popsicle sticks a lot. Now I need a popsicle stick. I don't want to do that on that. When I clean, I lose track of things. That's why I hate cleaning. I literally had a bunch of scrap stuff floating around here. Great. That's not good. I needed that for tonight. Great. I broke the Dremel. Everything. There. Scrap something. Scrap something. Gonna take a little bit of this glue here. And you're going to take your end and you're going to put it in the glue. If it wants to cooperate. Dang temperature here is ridiculously cold. Everything's not working the way it's supposed to. Right, you take your end, you take your Grandma Frasp, and you put your doohickey in the Grandma Frasp. Then you get your little pliers, and you close the Grandma Frasp around it. Then you have an end. Well, you should have an end if you don't do what I just did and pull it out. Make sure that you squeeze those ends. Tightly. And I gotta let that dry. You do the same thing on the other side. Get it all gluey. Put it into the center. And close around it. And then I pull it out again like an idiot. Literally. Now I gotta bend it back because I pulled it out. Where I don't like wasting stuff. I'm gonna open it back up a little bit. And we gotta stick this back in, and we gotta carefully close. And then we have the ends. Now we can take and extend it this way. These are awful big. Or we can go into here and we can put a piece of chain. But I don't think I want this one. I think, we want this one. Little chain. For this. Then So it looks like that. On the other end, we got to put a clasp. So we slide that through. Take our clasp, we put that on. And we close it. And if I really want to make it easy on people, I'd put another one of these loops on. Right through the chain, just so it's a bigger area for people to use this clasp. And click. And voila. Then we hang this back on. And that one is done. Done, done, done. Dun 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 dun. Alright. So how you start a barrel weave is you gotta have 5 rings. And I'm going to use these because that's what we have. We have heavier duty ones, but we're going to use the light ones for this demo. Even the light ones, sometimes you can't move. You have to like grab one end and the other, and you got to force the ring open just a little bit. This will be my center. I'm going to take these. Here's 1, 2, why is everything together? Give me a single one. Hang it. 3. And 4. That's your 5 ring. This is the basis of most of this weave. It's not closing correctly. It's being a pain in my butt. I need to find my other pair of pliers. That's what I need. But we'll make do. Yep, we'll make do. Damn it. Still not closed. you gotta close them and to keep them all together. But this is really small gauge wire. Like, and this is why this is aluminum. I like steel rings, because, but for demonstration purposes, we're going to use the aluminum stuff because it's cheaper. I mean, you could see how light of a gauge wire this is. I'll show you in a minute. I think that's closed. Hopefully. You'll find out in a minute. So, you have the 5 rings. Now you separate 2 on each side so they spread out. Like one in the middle, so it looks like that. Now, why I have you down here, see how thin this wire is? This is a lot thicker. This thin stuff is good for practice. This is what you want to make with this heavier stuff. Now you have your basis for the starting out, and once again, you can make a bunch of those if you want. We're gonna take one of these. We're gonna take 2 of those rings that we just put on that 5 ring, the 2 that are on one side, and we're gonna thread another ring through. Then we're gonna close it. Alright. So then you start getting a chain, something like that. So your chain will eventually look like, here's one I did. It'll look like that. And it's really a cheap hobby to get into that can earn you some money. And that being said, like, you just keep repeating that process for a little bit. Then you end up with something like this, because the rings will literally interlock and make a barrel. Like I said, this stuff for demonstration purposes is fine, but I don't want to sit here and weave a whole thing of jewelry using that. It's tinsy. It's, you know, that's all it is. You're just interconnecting rings. And depending on how you interconnect them, Depends on how they pull and what pattern they make. Here's one I started with heavier gauge. You can get a better look at when it actually all comes together. It starts looking like that. And when they're all linked, this is one I'm going to probably finish, but not today. It's cold down here, and I don't want to stay down here too long. But yeah. This is a weave. That's what a barrel weave looks like. It does. And I used to sit in front of the TV and do this stuff. Coffee's almost gone. And literally, this is the light gauge stuff. This is my heavy gauge stuff. But I need to go to the store and buy another pair of pliers like this. These, I can do it with these, but they don't have the spring. See the spring? Close it, stays closed. When I let go, it opens up. These I have to mechanically, and they're rusted. Not the rust bothers me, it doesn't, but they don't have that spring. It's very important that you have this piece in your tool arsenal, and it makes life much easier. So I'm gonna have to go to the store today if I'm gonna demonstrate more of this, and start doing this again. I gotta get another pair of these, or find my container, which I lose stuff left and right. I have so much stuff to track. Like, being a creative person that works in almost every single kind of medium, it could be troublesome. But hey, I got my pile of Mandalorian stuff already there. And we're gonna sandcast some metal ones. So you'll be watching me put stones into those. Eventually on one of my streams. But today was just a little bit of a touch basis of, hey, I do this. Did you guys know that? And we are literally, I mean, we played around with these. I wasn't too happy with these. You know, the way they came out. And this was just to show you. Because then what you do is you make that 5, and you put the 2. And then you take another 5, and you start locking them, linking them together. So that 5 thing I showed you, that is literally the basis of everything you do for that weave. Then you get into things like this. And you can make all sorts of things with it. But you do have to have the proper tools. And I can't find my other one of these. So I literally am going to have to go shopping. Which was not my plan. My plan was to sit here and do this and talk to you guys. But that's not working out too good. Remember, guys, tonight we are doing a stream. And it is RC based. Just so you know, we do RCs too. We do everything. And we're going to be doing that very soon. So once again, if you are watching, if you're one of the few that will watch this, I need to run to the store and buy another pair of these kind of pliers with the spring-loaded thing. It's necessary to have these. This is not going to work for me. This, I have to physically go like this and it stays open. And yeah, this is not going to work for weaving. We covered some basic necklace stuff. I showed you the beginnings with the 5 ring, and you're going to make a bunch of those. So if you're just sitting there in front of the TV and you got a bunch of rings, you just put together the 5 rings and just have a pile of them. Because then when you start assembling things like, well, I'll show you this. That's the basis for this weave. And a lot of your weaves use that basic 5 ring. So like you just start putting them together. So that's where I'm at with that. We are going to be making medallions out of this. We're going to be making medallions with this. We are literally making jewelry. And we have gemstones and we have supplies. So we're going to make some cool little jewelry things. Like, I honestly think I was working on a gear bracelet. So if I was doing something like that, let's see. This is another one of those beginning of those weaves. You see? It's pretty. Like I would intertwine a gear, so lay flat. And that's what I would do. I have this little thing that reminds me of a Stargate. So I think I was gonna make a Stargate out of those. Be a little creative. I'm hoping I inspire some of you to take on some of these hobbies that I do. Some of these hobbies will eventually make me money. It's inevitable. But I will be making, once I get my lathe fixed, I'll be making dragon eyes. This one I made years ago, but we're gonna this one's for another project. I had to dig it out while I was looking for my other pair of pliers and a box of rings wherever they went to. I pretty much was like, I can't, I gotta go find. And that's where I was at. And evidently I didn't find my other spot where I had all my stuff, so it disappeared over, I mean, it's been 20 years, or yeah, probably about 20 years since I did any of this kind of stuff. So we want to get back to it. And we're going to get back to it. And we're going to enjoy it. And we're going to have fun. And that's what I got for you today. Remember tonight, 7 p.m., we will be doing a stream. And it will be RC based. It's RC Mondays. What a world. I bring you all sorts of fun things. And with that, I want to bid you guys fair day. And I hope you have a wonderful Monday. Here it's pouring rain and stormy, so that's not cool. But we'll keep on plugging away, making the streams, and hoping you guys watch. And if you like, put the thumbs up. And if you really enjoyed the content, subscribe so you know when I release other stuff, because it's random. Other than Monday nights, everything is random. Yeah. So not like I always say, just put down that remote, shut off that TV, and walk to your door. Turn the handle, step outside, because you never know what adventure you'll have. And I'll see you around the globe. Now get out there, play hard, and play dirty. Be creative, God bless. Enjoy your day. See you tonight.